Hello, everybody.
Late already.
In true fashion, I've literally just run down to the fridge to get my mini keg. Oh, how's everybody doing? Oh,
I'm all right. I'm slightly more prepared than you, running around.
yeah, I'm not long in, as you would have known because we spoke earlier. Oh,
How's your day been?
busy, really busy, as you know. But for the benefit of the people watching, I'm an electrician. I was doing an oven installation. Had to wire a circuit for the new oven. Wired the new circuit for the new oven, and the new oven proceeded to take an hour and a half to get to me. So I sat twiddling my thumbs, which then made me late for this. How are you, mate? Anyway, you good?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I feel like I'm beer ready. This is the first full week back at work for a while, given all the bank holidays, and the sun is shining.
Oh yeah.
So it's time.
Yeah, it's good. It's beautiful out there, isn't it? My God, I was driving home and I was just like, I don't normally listen to Radio 1. That is not my vibe whatsoever. But they were playing some like really clubby tunes, and I was like, oh my God, Friday tunes. So, and I was going to say Friday tunes.
I'm going to drink a beer that I've been saving for review, but it's been in there for ages. I don't want it to go bad. It's not happening. Lost and Grounded's Fest beer.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
That'll be tasty.
I see ya. What are we doing with this? Do you let the air out of a mini keg before you do it, or do you just pop the top?
No, you let the air out first.
Yeah, I thought you did. I just wondered if there was any oxygen. How's everybody doing? Mersey Beers? First, he says. He absolutely is. Good evening, Mark. Just dropped the car off for its MOT. Mate, good evening to you, sir. Jamie C says, good afternoon, chaps. Hello, mate. How are you doing? How's the weather? It's probably... Oh, no, New York. You've been suffering with that wildfire smoke, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, it's all orange.
Yeah, it's all... Like, my mate's literally... Well, I think he got back today, and his Facebook, like, he tried to take... He went on a boat trip, or he had this boat trip scheduled that he prepaid. Couldn't take any photos of the skyline. It was just orange.
I mean...
So...
Yeah, it doesn't look too healthy up there.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know what the... I'm just trying to look for something to pop this top off. I don't know what the old air quality is like, whether people are suffering, because obviously it's like hay fever time of year and everything else. That's the last thing they bloody need, bless them.
Indeed, indeed.
So, Tommy, what beer lineup you got tonight, mate? What are we saying?
What, for everything?
Yeah, what we got? What sort of stuff you got in the fridge?
I've got a bit of all sorts. I think today is going to be lagers, well chilled pales, and a couple of those chilled Blue Monkey Nitro stouts that have been all over my channel for the last week. So it's that kind of weather.
It is that kind of weather, to be fair. And I'm with you. I'm just literally cracking into a 4.5% oat pale ale from... They're probably, I keep saying ampersand are my version of Blue Monkey. They are in terms of how much I rate them locally in craft, but probably the closest brewery that I've got to Blue Monkey, which is Grain. And I've spoken to you about them before, haven't I?
Yes.
In terms of how well they do that crossover between traditional and craft. So...
Interesting. Is that what you mean? That's what you... It's a Grain keg you've got going in the machine now, is it?
It is indeed.
Very nice. Very nice.
It is indeed. Just pop that little bad boy in there.
Yeah. This Fest beer from Lost and Grounded's, it smells the business.
It should be bloody. I mean, Lost and Grounded, they're proper like lager producers, aren't they? Probably underrated. Everyone, when you think
so.
of British lager producers, I know Paul talks a lot about Pillars, which are London way, aren't they? Bedfordshire, somewhere like that. Then obviously you've got Utopian, which everyone bangs on about, but no one really talks about Lost and Grounded.
No, they probably get lost in the melee that is the brilliance of the Bristol beer scene, I guess.
Well, that is the problem. That is probably their problem. Yeah.
I've had a few bits from them. They've all been very, very nice. This has just got proper malt. This kind of got that de facto German style malt base, but then that Fest beer's always got a little bit of like yeasty spice note on the top.
Yeah.
And it's got that properly.
What's the strength? Is it around 5.1?
It's 5.6.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be tasty. Let's give it a go, shall we? Cheers, everyone. Happy sunny Friday.
I think I've got a gas cartridge run out.
Ooh, yes. Yes. That will do the ticket.
Is it good?
It is. It's very nice. It's not. I'm not going to say it's as good as the top tier German stuff, but I tell you what, it's on a hot day right now. That's a tidy treat.
Not half bad. Just loading a new CO2 canister in. Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's in a way. He's hissing.
It definitely took a couple of kegs to get used to this beer monster. Just in terms of its little kind of idiosyncrasies, you know.
It can be a funny wee beast, but I think it's just I suppose its flaws are in its simplicity in a way. But the joy of that simplicity means it doesn't really matter if you use it, abuse it, forget about it for 6 months of the year and come back to it. It's all super cleanable and super maintainable. So
yes.
So
that's what we've got.
The haze on that.
The haze for days. They've changed the recipes. This is now called Okapi. It used to be called OPA because it was an oat pale ale. Now I think they've used most of the malt bill. They've taken a lot of the oats out and hopped it with more New World hops. So the hop delivery is bigger on this at the brewing stage, and it smells just amazing. It smells proper summery.
Oh, you were telling me about this last weekend, weren't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I did.
I remember. Good stuff. How is everyone in the chat anyway? Feels like it's not been that long since we did a stream, but it's been a few weeks. How's everyone doing? Are we well?
Mersey says it's roasting in Liverpool and got a Polish unfiltered lager. Mocking me in the fridge as I have to wait until I collect the car in an hour. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's probably quite annoying with that heat. With that heat, Mersey. Jamie C says, yeah, the wildfires have caused quite a bit of smog. There's definitely a whiff of burning wood in the air. It's cleared up quite a bit the past couple of days. That's good. You just need a big downpour up there. But I don't know how realistic that is this time of year, to be honest. Mersey Beer says Liverpool Craft Beer Expo tomorrow. Oh, nice. Got some banging beer being poured. Best of British breweries plus Sierra Nevada keg. Yeah, they've hit the keg scene hard. I don't know if anyone saw John's Instagram, but Paul's Instagram. Paul obviously works for Creative Juices Brewing Company in Rickmansworth near Watford, and he had some in, and that they had a couple of kegs. I was kind of hoping when I saw Sierra Nevada on the Brew London list, I was kind of hoping for like maybe a couple of different kegs, something a bit different, but they just bought the Californian IPA and the Sierra Nevada Pale in keg, which wasn't disappointing, but it was
The Californian Pale's not. I'm not going to say it's not really Sierra Nevada because they do make it, but it's not. It's a Euro special, isn't it?
It is a little bit, I think, and I mean having the Sierra Nevada Pale on keg was like bucket list because that's never happened to me, but yeah. It'd be interesting to see what they've got out there, actually. Joey's in. Cheers, lovely people. Hello, Joey. How you doing, my mate? Luke John, how you doing today? He says, howdy, chaps and chapettes. The legend is Alan Mead. Hi, all. Happy Friday. The beers are chilly and the sun is out. Yeah, boy. I was talking to you, Tom, wasn't I, about this very stream. And I was saying, what have you got beer-wise? And you were like, oh, I've got a bit of this, I've got a bit of that. And I was like, none of mine. Because I get sent stuff. I've got this thing that's going on. I'm now writing an article in a magazine, a trade magazine, believe it or not. And they sent me a load of beer, but that's taken up my fridge. So I've got nothing really chilled apart from this 5-litre mini keg. So tonight could go west quite quickly. Joe says it's hazy all over the eastern half of the US. Have you got it in Ohio, mate? Yeah, you probably would, actually. You probably would. Alan Mead says, hi, Luke John. Luke John says, I'm used to smog being from Teesside. Yeah, tell me about it. I grew up just south of London, so I'm probably going to have the most horrendous asthma when I grow up. When I grow up? I'm 35. When I get a little bit older.
When you grow up.
I'm at 6s and 7s tonight. Alan says he loved the Guinness video, lads. Oh, cheers, mate. That was fun to film, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It's always... it's one of those things where I would always prefer to film with someone else because it feels like you've got, and I think I was saying to you, Mark, earlier in the week after I edited it, it's like, it's a funny one because when you do stuff by yourself, certainly when I do it anyway, I spend so long thinking about what I want to say, as in to like convey it in the most accurate way possible, that my raw cuts have got like 30 to 45-second gaps in them because I'm just sat there pondering like what is the absolute like definitive term that I want for this. And I normally get it wrong anyway, but you know what I mean? I try. But then when you've got someone else come in, you've got time to think while the other person's talking.
Yeah.
So
That's
actually that ended up being a 33-minute video, and I think the rough cut for it was, well, the raw, so not rough cut, the raw footage start to finish was only 37 minutes.
yeah.
Like, there's not a lot taken out of it at all. 10% maybe. So yeah, it's
this is the thing. I was the other way around. So where I film my videos in one cut because I have to, because I just simply don't have the know-how or the time or the skill to do loads of editing. It was nice to kind of like sit back. You talk for 30 seconds and I can actually think about it. And it was like, oh, this is a very different reviewing experience, because normally my videos are probably a little bit waffly because I kind of have to, because it's all done in one take, I kind of have to talk.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd like to be able to. I mean, it'd save a lot of time if I could do that. But
but your production's insane, Crummy. Come on, you can't be. you don't want to be wishing for my scenario. I'll tell you that. Luke John Frost says, "I see Crummy's setup has changed slightly."
Yeah, I've even tweaked it since you were here last week, Mark. Very slightly. Very. Oh, hold on. Depends when Luke last watched. So
you feel further forward.
Yeah, so I've moved a few things around, and this is as a result of noticing issues when two people were in here. Because last weekend was the first time I filmed with anyone else in this space, with this current setup, and the lighting wasn't quite right because it was all centered on one side and stuff like that. So I've moved everything. I've moved the lighting closer to the camera, and then the camera and the lighting are now aligned, so the camera's slightly further forward. Yeah, the only downside is that if I stand up right here, I can probably cut my head off. But I only have to take a step back for that not to be the case, and it feels more. I don't know. It feels more like even on each side. I always felt there was a bit of dead space with that. The videos that are currently going out now. So it's a tweak. It's always a work in progress. I get fidgety. I like changing stuff. We'll see what happens. I don't know how the audio is. The mic's a bit further away now, which is not ideal. But this is an echoey room anyway. I think the only way I'm really going to make it properly good is if I like put these panel things all over the ceiling, and that's not really practical. So
no,
it is what it is.
In case nobody knows, and I'm sure you would, because Tom's setup is like bang on the money every single time. His videos are perfect every single time. It's Tom's game is millimeters. I'm not joking. We were moving the table even to the point where we'd done can I say, Tom, about what we filmed on Sunday?
Yeah.
So we filmed the first of what's going to be hopefully a series for Tom, a podcast, and we kind of had to adjust the camera to get us both in comfortably. And Tom's moving the tables around and everything else in the room is not square, but it's square on the camera. I mean, your attention to detail is insane. My setup's just a bit, slapdash really, but I suppose that's probably. It's just good to see you do your thing, because I'm like different. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what the biggest advantage you have in where you're stood now compared to what I have when it comes to that kind of attention to detail thing? And it's you're filming into a corner. So that when you film into a corner, the fact that your shelving unit to your right on camera starts it goes down at an angle because you're filming into a corner, so it looks natural. Yes. Yeah, I'm filming straight back to a flat wall with a 90-degree corner on that side. If anything in here is off on a slight angle, then it looks wrong. So yeah, that's yes. I wish I could film into a corner, but I can't really. So
you can't. No, not that door where it is. No. Luke John said, "Oh yeah, somebody probably set up." Tim Freer, we saw Tim, didn't we?
We did. Tim.
How you doing, Tim?
Tim was the supplier of many tasty goods that Mark's taken home with him.
Yes, they are in the fridge in place of that mini keg. So can we say, would Tim mind us saying where he works, or would you prefer?
No, he's mentioned it before in the chat.
Okay, sure. So Tim works for Blue Monkey. So we went out to Blue Monkey on Saturday morning, and went on a bit of a beery mission, and came back with. Well, I came back with 9 vessels of beer, 5 bottles, 4 cans. Tom, you bought. What did you buy? You bought the mild.
I bought a keg of what might be my favourite beer, which is
It's good.
the Monkey Coconut Mild. So the
Oh,
last. So it was funnily timed because when we did a video about that, we did a video on three Blue Monkey beers when we were at Lord's back in April.
yes.
And the week after that came out, and that was one of those beers, we were raving about it and we said they need to brew it again, they need to brew it again. I'm pretty confident it had already been on the brew sheet by that point and our video had no impact, but they were brewing it again, got very excited, but then it found out it was going to be cask only, so it was going to pubs only. But it turns out they might have had a little bit extra, and then they did a very, very small number of mini kegs. There was 2 left when we got there. So
Yeah, that might be one of my little sort of slight annoyances from that weekend that I didn't pick one up. I was kind of standing in there thinking, shall I, shan't I? And I kind of anticipated that we'd go to like bottle shops along the way on the Saturday.
Right.
But we didn't, which is fine. But it's absolutely fine. But when you're just like, I've been in one night. I've been here for like 12 hours, and I've already got shed loads of beer.
Yeah.
It's like, do I need another 5 liters?
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
Right. Mersey Beers, decent. Mersey Beers says 3 different kegs at Liverpool Craft Beer Expo. Listen to this: Optimum, Torpedo, and Hazy Little Thing. Hazy Little Thing, not really that fussed about, but Optimum, Torpedo, and keg. So yes, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, it depends which Hazy Little Thing it is, because there's the real one and then there's the UK supermarket one, and there's a few variants. So yeah, it just depends which one.
But Optimum Torpedo on keg, that'll do me nicely, I think. Joey says we've got it a bit in Ohio, quality warnings, etc. Not nearly as bad as New York City and Philly though. Yeah, it's bad. Like, look, the videos looked awful. It's a conspiracy by the Canadians to get the Americans to care about climate change.
Oh, I'm really so because it's warm. I'm running my limited computer setup. Otherwise, it all starts to go a bit glitchy. So I've not got my Blame Canada button. That would have been perfect. I'm afraid you have to imagine. You have to imagine it.
Blame Canada. Luke John says it would take more than that, Jamie. Alameda, you should do more bits together like that. You know what? In all of my days, I say all of my days, like I've been kicking around the circuit for like a decade, but that might be one of my favourite weekends, if not my favourite weekend. Last week in Nottingham, because we did film a lot. I think we filmed 4 videos in total. It was 2 for yours, so the podcast and the video that you may have already seen. If you haven't already seen the Guinness video, there's a bit of a special Guinness in there, and it's on Crummy's channel. Go and have a look. But yeah, there's a mind-blowing Guinness in there that I really enjoyed. Then we filmed Tom's podcast that will be out at some point soon, I'm sure. Then we filmed a video that I've got coming out. I was going to release it today, but I forgot because I got up at 6:30 to go to work. Probably going to be now Monday, I reckon, in all honesty. That's quite a good video. That's quite a good head-to-head, actually. And then we filmed episode 2 of Craft Beer Hunting In. So Craft Beer Hunting In episode 1 was in Bristol and Bath, or Bath and Bristol, as it's titled. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. I had a really good fun day. At the time when I filmed it, I just thought it'd be a one-off because I dropped my van off for its pop-top near Bristol. And I said to my mate, I was like, should we go to Bath and just get on the beers? And I kind of just filmed around the bars. We went to, a couple of brew taps, we should say, a brilliant pub called the Lamb Dogger Trow in Bristol, and a really cool little bottle shop in Bath. I kind of had a really good day doing that, and I was like, hold on a minute, I'm going to Nottingham next week. I was like, I could just turn this, the powers of YouTube, I could turn this into episode 1 of a series. So I'm going to now start running a series called Craft Beer Drinking In. So Craft Beer Hunting In, sorry. So yeah, episode 2 is filmed, and we have done it together. And Tom, my expert tour guide, took me to some insane places. There's a few that stick in the mind, especially one called the Old King Billy.
Okay, you've mixed 2 together there.
The Old Billy.
So the one that you were the weird one.
Yeah, that one.
The weird one with the pizza.
Yes.
Yeah? There was a. It's called. I think its official name is actually the King William or the King William III or something, but it's known locally and even on Google as the King Billy.
Yes, yeah, not the yeah. So the King Billy. I mean, it's in. How to put this nicely? It's in like an semi-industrial kind of back street of Nottingham.
It's funny because you only accessed it from one side, so
Yeah,
on that one side, it's opposite a bus depot.
Nice.
That's what that industrial thing was. It was just one of the Nottingham City bus transport depots. But if you'd gone in through the other entrance on the other side, then it's just becomes housing. Just go so it's right on the corner basically.
It did have that feeling of like an old kind of estate pub. You know, like where they built a bunch of houses and they stuck the pub on the corner back in the sort of 20s, 30s.
You know what? It probably was because that would tie up with that area, yeah.
And it kind of had that feel, like, no disrespect to it, because it was fantastic, and I can't recommend it enough. If you saw it from 15 to 20 meters away, and someone said, "Should we go in there for a beer?" you would be like, "Not on your Nelly, am I going in there?" But we walked in, and there was like an insane lineup of local real ale and cask. Real ale and craft, both on cask and keg. Yeah. I had a liquid light pale ale in there. Tommy, you had. Do you remember?
It'll be in the video.
Yeah, it'll be in the video.
What did I have? Was it a mild? No,
I can't remember. I feel like it was a light beer. I feel like
you're right. No, I did have a light beer in there. It was. Did you have the liquid light one?
I had the liquid light. Not light bulb, because that's Verdant. I can't remember what it was called now, but.
It was another local one. I'm racking my brain now. I don't think it was, or was it Black Iris?
It was a Black Iris, New England IPA or pale or Session New England pale.
Session NEPA or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was very nice.
And it was so funny because you walk when outside, it looks like the Rover's return. So it's kind of got that semi-frosted glass, green and cream painted render. It looks like a dive bar. You walk in, it's got like oak beams, bundles of character, insane beers behind the bar. You then go up to obviously you were leading me through the pub because you knew what was going to come.
Yeah.
You go up to the first floor, and as Tom said, it looks like a Russian canteen, and it literally looks like a Russian canteen. Yeah. You know that carpet that's like no thicker than the felt you get on a pool table. It's kind of it's that sort of carpet. And then you go up a couple more steps, and then you go out to this like sun deck, and the sun deck's square meterage was probably twice, if not three times, the size of the first floor. It's the strangest place. And then at 6 o'clock, this like hatch swung open, and it served the most amazing. It was called Secret Pizza, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was just, when you're sitting there and you think, I feel like I'm in one of them like TikTok videos where it all goes like, where it's all a bit funny. But it was, but it was happening in life. It was so strange. But yeah, really good. That I think by the time I edit it down, I think we were fairly gone at the end, weren't we? I was just about holding it together.
I think we did really well. So I think hold on a minute. I sent a list. A friend of mine. Oh, nearly knocked things over. A friend of mine wanted to know where we'd gone the other day because he was like, "Oh, where did you take him? Where did you take him?" And let me just find the list because I reckon it was a fair few places. I
reckon it must have been 10.
1, 2, 3. Hold on, I've lost count already. 1, 2, 3. It's 11 places we went. I'll be honest. I think we were very considered in our options and our pace up until the final venue, and then because we knew we didn't have anywhere else to go, it all went a bit wrong.
Yeah, we got fairly sloshed in there. Is Tim still in? Ian was. I think I put an Instagram up or I messaged Ian or something, a picture in the organ grinder, and Ian started FaceTiming me at like 1:45.
No one could hear anyone. It was chaos, but it was
like Ian, and he must be thinking these drunk idiots.
Yeah,
but
I need more. Yeah. I need more beer. What do we go for next?
What are you thinking, mate? What I mean,
You know what? I think I've already decided. Hold
oh,
fire.
there we go.
I think I've already decided based on conversations that have just been had.
Okay.
It's not going to be what you think.
Oh yeah, that was what I was thinking. I was thinking, here comes a blue monkey, something or other.
All the talk about Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I was like, you know what? I've not had one for a wee while.
How much is a can of that? Is it less than? Is it like less than £2?
So it's on the 4 for 3 Morrison's deal. Let me tell you. Hold on.
Yep.
The normal price. Let's have a look. Morrison's Sierra Nevada. Mate, it's £2.50 not on that deal, so it's 4 cans for £7.50.
Mate, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to get a different glass because I feel like more lager will come later.
In terms of quality in terms of price and quality to milliliter, I don't think there's a better beer out there than that.
You'd be hard pressed, wouldn't you? Really?
Oh, I just can't think of one. I really can't. I mean, you probably look at a couple of the cheaper Northern Monk 6-7% double dry hopped IPAs that they released in sort of 2020, 2021 that are still kicking about. But if Elusive, who are known for their West Coast style, if Elusive brewed that and put it in a can, people would be tripping over themselves to get hold of it at £4 a can.
It's the colour on this that gets me. It's so rich. It's lovely looking.
Alan says, Mark, what keg is in the Beer Monster? It is a Grain brew. So Grain are a brewery right close to me in South Norfolk. As I was saying to Tom, they are kind of my version of Blue Monkey. I think they tread the line so well between trad and craft and sort of doing both really well, because generally sort of one takes over a brewery and one doesn't. This is actually one of their craft sort of beers called Okapi. I mean, it looks quite pale and miserable from your angle, but I think that's probably my OBS because I haven't set it up correctly. But I mean, in real time, which is actually a fair point because that's why Tom's laughing.
No, I'm laughing because to the uninitiated, it looks like my OBS sounds like a gastro issue.
Oh, got OBS. So OBS is like a software where you can adjust the colors. Tom knows how to work it, which is why his camera looks amazing. I don't know how to work it, which is why I look like I've not seen the sunlight for 3 years. So actually what you've got is a lovely sort of pineapple juicy looking beer. Not that it looks like that on the camera. Loads of sort of passion fruit, pineapple, big lemon hit as well. It's a development on their oat pale ale. If you didn't see it before, Alan, they had an oat pale ale that was kind of the color that you're seeing on camera now. Very oat heavy, and it tasted like a very oat heavy pale ale, not overly hopped. Whereas this, they've removed some of the oats, hopped it a lot more, and it's just a better beer. It just drinks so much better. I think they could probably do separate beers, to be honest with you. I think they could probably keep the OPA if they wanted to, and keep this as this is now called the Okapi, which is like an African word for like antelope or something. Fact check that, please. But yeah, just a fantastic brewery. And if they had more space, they'd be insane. If they could churn out more, they would be brilliant. Well, they are brilliant, but it would just be insane for them, I think. Luke John says, I've cleared up my setup out. No beer for 6 to 8 months, so I don't really need a beer and spirits in my face. Oh.
I hope you're all right, mate. I hope everything's...
Yeah, I hope you're all right, mate.
I hope the having to do that results in a massive positive for you.
I don't know the details. Obviously, we don't speak too often, Luke, so I don't know the details. But I hope you are, mate. Sorry if there's anything going on. Sorry to hear that, mate. Oh, here we go. Streamer having a fart. Jamie C says no booze for 8 months, Luke. Yeah. Unfortunately, Jamie C, but a new younger looking model will be available soon. Love that. Hopes all goes well, pal. Absolutely. Tom bought what he wants. Dictionary corner. Tom bought what he wants. Dictionary corner to know about Mark.
Eh?
Right. I feel like if you said that in a Sunderland accent, that might make more sense. What do you mean? Sorry, Luke.
I'm totally confused.
Luke Johnson says, cheers, Jamie. Hello, me says, I see Asda have a load of new beers out. Irish supermarkets are shocking for craft beer. They have. I've got them in front of me here. I'm really excited for two in particular. So this, because everyone, if you watch the channel, you know my love for the Sudbury hop and coconut and lime in general. They're probably two of my favourite flavours. I'm excited for that. And salt don't tend to miss in the supermarket. They've had they brewed that junior New England IPA that wasn't much of a fan of, but
I might go and buy some of that. I don't normally rush out for supermarket craft editions because they're normally pretty.
Are you a coconut fan?
Yeah.
Naughty. Okay, I'm gonna pop that can because there is. I bought two of that. There's one in the fridge, and I'm looking forward to this. And I'm looking forward to this because this is Northern Monk Faith in Haze. Sorry, the ring lights.
Okay, it's a faith variant. Okay.
And the reason I'm looking forward to it is because I used to have Northern. I used to look forward. I wouldn't ever have. You know, sometimes when you come home on a Friday night, Tom, and anyone else that buys craft beer from breweries and bottle shops and everything else, when you come home on a Friday and you haven't put an order in, you're like, damn, I haven't put an order in. But then you can go to Morrison's. Obviously, especially around here, obviously a lot of you will be able to drop into a bottle shop and buy some. Not so easy around here. So I would just go to Morrison's, and you could get a couple of cans of Scarfell and a couple of cans of transient,
yeah,
and it would be insane, like insane beer. Then you bring in the Morrison's. Bring in the Northern Monk supermarket stouts that were widely available, and you could have quite a good night. You could get 5 cans. You'd spend probably no more than 15, 20 quid, and you've got 4 or 5 really decent beers for that money. Recently, Northern Monk have fallen off a cliff. They've started doing the Brewdog Tiny Rebel thing. They'll brew like a really basic IPA, load it with juices, and call it a tropical IPA, and it's terrible. And that's been happening now at Northern Monk on the supermarket shelf at least for about 9 to 12 months. This, and I checked. I don't normally look at the ingredients. I've checked the ingredients. This doesn't have anything in it. So the reason I'm looking forward to it is, could it be a return to form? Could they have recentered themselves? The only concern I have, it was £3. That's the only concern. Whereas Transient and Scarfell have been £3.50 for as long as I can remember. So
we'll find. I suppose we're about to find out.
Yeah, probably have a go on that later. To be fair, not ruling out.
Just before I forget, flick back to that confusing comment from Luke because he's put a clarifier in, just basically complaining that we're 15 minutes behind. It says it's in relation to the beers you bought whilst out gallivanting.
Okay. Right. That's
fair enough. Maybe. I did when I got back home with a keg. I did get a look that said, "Have you not got enough beer?"
Tom bought what he wants. Dictionary Corner to know about Mark. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Why did I not read it like that? Yes, I hear you. It's true. Yeah. I reckon Tom's got a secret stash somewhere. And maybe talks about that. Jamie says you guys should do a Euro weekend away. We have had chats. It's never really gone beyond a chat, has it?
Yeah, I would love to do it. It's this constant battle of firstly trying to get everyone's calendars to line up, which is a mission in and of itself.
I think we've had about 4 chats, and that's been a stumbling block every time.
Yeah, and everyone's gone, when's everyone free? And then you go through the next 4 months, and no one's free. So you go, no. Okay, we'll come back to this. And obviously, everyone's got different responsibilities. Yes. Some people have got kids. Some people have got jobs that don't allow them a lot of time off in one go. Some of us have got an enormous amount of very hairy dogs. It's just one of those things. So we'd love to do it. Yeah, we've got to find I think what we should probably do is set our goals a little bit lower. Instead of we're going to go to Europe, and we're going to go and do everything, or have a mad 5-day or whatever. We need to go. You know what? We could get a 11 p.m. Euro start on this Friday. You could do this city or everything in this city and be back on the Eurostar 5 p.m. Sunday, and it's not impacting anyone too much. It's probably what we need to look at, I think. whether that's Eurostar flights, whatever. But yeah, you know what I mean. We could probably try and if we can formulate a plan for a kind of 72-hour max trip, I think that's much more achievable than a week off. So
yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. Being self-employed, like time off, is a nightmare for me. So, and that's just one of the issues. And then other people have got paid holiday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of them things. Tom and Stu, how you doing, mate? Sunny, good evening, folks. And to you, good sir, I'm excited to hear about all this future content. I'll tell you what, we had such a good day filming all sorts of stuff in Nottingham as well as where Tom lives. Yeah, really good weekend last weekend. Jamie, bro, what are you doing next weekend? It's holiday. We should go and have a meet up. I tell you what, I'd like to see the YouTube shorts of that. I'll tell you. John says, I used to be known as King Willie, then I got flooded.
Oh dear.
Mersey said, shouldn't it be craft beer hubbing in? It should really be, shouldn't it? But then someone's going to change hubbing to humping, and it's just going to be an absolute nightmare.
No, you know what? I reckon if you Urban Dictionary hubbing, it's probably got an insidious meaning.
Yeah, it's going to be something to do with a public toilet and toilet roll. It's going to be. Jamie C says, Square Table Generates, in case you haven't heard, Joey, I'm emigrating to Finland.
Well,
what? Did you know about this, Tom?
I did not. I'm very happy for you because one of the few places in the world I wouldn't mind living, Finland, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you got the dogs.
I'll be honest. I hope you got your Duolingo on the go because that's not an easy language transition. That.
Oh my god. I think Greek's easier than Finnish. I think.
Yeah, possibly.
Wife, dog, and girls go next weekend. I will join a few days later. I will be back on occasions as my son is staying. Oh, mate, Jamie, message me on Instagram. Tell me all about that, mate, because I love that sort of stuff. Jamie, stop letting the secret out, will you? It's not a secret anymore, Luke. Luke says it is in my mind. David Wilson, hi all. David, were you going up to Manchester this weekend? There's a big. Is it Manchester Craft Beer Festival this weekend?
It could be.
Nottingham.
Next weekend's Nottingham.
Next weekend, okay.
I'm going to ask a question out to Mersey if he's still in the chat. I saw a comment come in about 10 minutes ago. There's no need to jump to it, but he says, "Is everyone jealous of Tom with the new tap room announcement for Nottingham?" I've not heard about a new announcement, and as soon as I saw the message, I started searching, going, "What is he talking about?" So he knows something I don't about my doorstep, which is interesting. So I need to know.
I'll tell you what, having gone out in Nottingham and sampled pretty much all of the good bars, I reckon we did. That'll only add to what is just an unreal place for craft.
I'll tell you what, just do a comment jump to the most recent one because it's very much on topic, and then we'll come back again.
Oh my god, we are behind. Rob.
There you go. Rob from Hopsington. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Rob. I'm in Nottingham next week for my birthday and Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. Going to do an afternoon in Beeston. Yes, we did that as well, didn't we, Tom? On the Friday, then the festival on the Saturday.
Enjoy, sir. Enjoy.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we're not going to cross paths because I'm doing NCBF on the Friday, which is a shame. But hope you have a good time. Enjoy. I hope Beeston lives up to expectations because it is very nice.
Oh, what's that? What was the first pub we went in that was next to the station?
That was the Victoria Hotel, also just known as the Vic.
Is that in Beeston or no?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Good place. And then we went to Totally Tapped.
Yep.
Which was nice because it had amazing quality beer, but it just didn't have that, it didn't have much of a vibe in there, did it? Then
Totally Tapped's a funny one. It's such a small place that you get a very different experience just on happenstance as to how many other people are in there at one time.
Yeah, that's fair. And what type of people? Because it's so intimate. I mean,
if there's a few annoying people in there, you're going to have a bad time. And if there's lots of nice, chill people in there, it's very nice. The beer selection in there, in terms of from a very specifically craft perspective, is probably the best.
Yeah, 100%. 8 to 10 keg lines in there?
I reckon it might be more than that.
Could it be more than that?
It might be 14 or 16, but maybe 16. Maybe 16 beers total. 4, I think, are on cask.
And if you can choose a beer from one of the lower taps, it's quite funny because they've put a guttering sort of catch tray at the bottom, and they can't get the glasses under it. And the woman behind the bar was like, "We told him when he built this place to not do that." And they have to kind of like fill the last little bit up of your pint, like off it. They have to sort of decant it out of a second glass. It's quite funny. But the last place though, what was that place?
That's the Crown.
The Crown. Whoa,
Yeah.
good pub. Good, proper little old boozer to the point where they've got it's almost like a sort of confession chamber of beer. You can go and confess your sins to the bar girls about how drunk you got last night. But it's like this tiny little room. And how many? They're like student age, weren't they? There were like 3 or 4 of them in there.
Yeah.
And that would have been packed in that room. But it's got like a little glass sliding door. It's almost like an old train door on the old steam trains back in the day.
Yeah, it's such a weird. There's just kind of rooms on rooms on rooms, and you get there. It gets progressively smaller. It's funny because you get there, you go in through, you can get in through the front, but most people arrive through the car park at the back, and the rear's just got heaps of like massive park bench style seating, right? Like typical beer garden seats, like dozens of them. It's massive. There's an outside bar that's open. It'll probably be open next weekend because it's that time of year, but it's not open all the time. And then you go through into the pub itself, and you're greeted with like, low beam ceilings, but quite an open plan bar with let's call it like a medium sized pub, right? In that first bit, and it's not intimate, but it's not massive, and it's just nice. And then you go, like, if you start making your way around the side of the bar, then you go through this next bit where it's like it starts to get a little bit more intimate. It's almost like booths, like wooden booth style. And there's probably 6 or 8 of those. And then you keep going round, and you end up in like the front bar, which would have been like the traditional proper bar rather than the lounge at the back. And then that's like, it's just like 1 table wide, right? And 4 tables across. And that's very cozy if you want to get past anyone else. And then right at the end of that, as Mark said, there's this weird sliding door that's literally like a confession cubbyhole. It's bizarre.
It's so strange, isn't it?
Yeah. If you watch the video I did on the Beast and Beer Mile, there's another room. It's like the Snug that we didn't go in.
Right.
That's in that video. Again, it's one of these places. It's so many nooks and crannies. It's a fantastic place.
It is brilliant. There's loads of character, and the beers were insane as well. Really, really good. Right, I'm going to skip the comments where you're talking to each other because I'm sure you've been. Thomas asks, "Who would win in a fight between a crocodile who can breathe fire or an antelope that can shoot poisonous darts?" Got to be crocodile, mate.
Hold on. Well, can the darts penetrate crocodile skin or not?
That's true. Oh yeah, antelope can fight at distance. Antelope, says Luke. Kevin Parton, hello, mate. Good evening, all. Good evening to you, Kevin. Thanks for coming in, mate. Dave Wilson says there is Mark, the bottle conditioned version. What was I talking about? Luminac. What was I talking about, David? I'm well behind. I'm going to rattle through some comments to catch up. This is Tom, do you think it's more of an ESB than a pale ale?
I think he's talking about Sierra Nevada.
That's true.
I'm going to say no. Hop value is too high for an ESB. The malt value, though, is a bit different. I'd say it's not really what we now consider pale ale malt. It's more like almost like a rich golden ale malt profile in Sierra Nevada, I reckon.
I kind of get caramel, almost like a caramel, bready caramel vibe from Sierra Nevada Pale.
Why is so good?
Mersey, I don't know if you've put a chat in, but we'll come back to this in a minute if you're still in, mate. In relation to the beers, yes, sorry, mate. Yeah, I know, Luke. I know it's Friday and I'm slow. Joey says the remaining Beatles have reunited. It's been that far behind the chat. Thank you, mate. Would you shave the dog's ball for $500 super chat?
There's a few problems with that, Jerry. We're on Mark's channel, so I wouldn't get the super chat. And actually, shaving a husky might kill him in hot weather. So no, the vet bills would be more than that.
It's true. Luke Johnson said you also never ask a woman how much beer she bought live on air, especially if she has a husband or wife or fill in the blank. Yeah. Jamie previously said for 10 years he knows his stuff. Rob obviously talks about Nottingham Craft Beer Festival. David says not in July, Bristol this weekend. Oh, you're going to Bristol, mate. If you go anywhere on your trip, go to the Left-Handed Giant Bar. It's literally in the centre of Bristol. Oh, are you going to Bristol this weekend, David? Just because you say not going to Abbey, Bristol's insane. Rob says fancy new places to my favourites in town. Yeah, Beeston's brilliant, mate. I was shocked actually at the beer scene in Bristol.
It's very
good.
Going
to do the Star, the Crown, Totally Tapped, and the Pottle, mate. Go to the Vic if you can get to the Vic.
Well, certainly go for food. I mean, beer can be.
Oh, the food.
Yeah,
forgot about the food at the Vic. The beer was good.
Yeah, it's good. It's not always. It's a tough one. It depends what you fancy. The beer quality is always good. It's just whether they've managed to buy in the right things for the right weather at the right times. Not always spot on, but yeah, it's worth it. The Pottle, is that the new one? So I think I've heard about this. Let me have a quick look. Let me have a look.
Rob says, I'll check out your Beeston video this evening. Yeah, you done something. What do you call it? Like the Nottingham Beer Mile or the Beeston Beer Mile or something?
Beeston Beer Mile, yeah.
Good. Like, it's really strange. Like Beeston's obviously one of these places. You can tell from the establishments that are there, it had a really, really rich, affluent past. And then you can probably tell that modern day's got hold of it and it's a bit, yeah. And then you can say again that the money and the kind of the vibe and there's a bit more kind of coming back to Beeston now. I mean, there's lots of. I mean, we were sitting in Totally Tapped, and they were building some like new flats opposite. I think they're actually retirement flats, but there's a lot of money being spent in Beeston.
Yeah, it's a funny place. I checked out the Pottle. I was aware of it. I've not been yet. It was just one of those. I feel like it's giving the same vibe as Totally Tapped, but I have a bit of an allegiance. So I've not managed to get over there yet, and it's on the other side of Beeston to all those other ones. Not that it's big, but yeah, I just haven't made it over.
Beeston is a big place though, because we were in the car for a short minute between the Vic. What's it called?
Yeah,
we're in the car for a good sort of 3, 4, 5 minutes. You know, in the road was pretty dead.
It's the biggest town that's kind of. It's not within the city boundary, but the borders the city boundary. So yeah, it's not tiny.
Yeah,
yeah, it's good. It's good.
Let's have a quick look. Master Rob, good evening. Luke John says, Mark, what was that pub you couldn't remember the name of in your video? That was called the Landogger Trowel, and I couldn't remember. So the story was we walked to New Bristol Brewery because it said it was open. So it said New Bristol Brewery
is frozen.
Tap room open. I would go there. No, the brewery opened. The brewery opened at 1. The bit of tap room didn't open. So we were like, where do you reckon? Like, for me, there's no better recommendation than speaking to a brewer and saying, where do you drink?
Yeah.
And he was like, the Landogger Trowel. So we walked all the way back because the New Bristol Brewery is kind of on the outskirts. It's in amongst what would have been like the old workers' houses, all the sort of terraced houses, Coronation Street style houses. It would have been the old workers for like the docks or whatever in Bristol back in the day, I reckon. So we walked all the way back into town and went to the Landogger Trowel. And I think they had something like 26 keg lines. There were about 4 that were unoccupied. And from memory, about another 4 that were cider. So you had a good 22 beers to choose from. Scott on Wonders World, evening all, happy Friday. Hello, mate. Hello, guys. If you're watching, thank you very much. If both of you are watching, Luke John says, evening, handsome Scott. Dave one says, hello, Scott on Wonders World. Hope you're both well. Is there another Scott? And then Luke John Frost says, Scotty too hotty. It's true. Hi, Scott Buddy. And Scott says, rubbish wrestler. Do you remember? Was he the one that had like the top of his hat cut out and he had like all the. Yeah, I just remember like blonde spikes coming out the top of a top hat.
It was part of D-Generation X, as I recall.
Oh my god! Yeah. With who was the ringleader in there? Kurt, not Kurt Angle.
No,
Oh my god, we are going way back.
We are going way back.
Oh my god, my hair,
what
look
was
at
his name? I can see it. I know what he looks like. I just can't.
that. X-Pac.
Yeah.
X-Pac.
It was X-Pac. Yeah, that's it. Well done.
I'm out of Scots then Scott. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey Alan, how you doing, mate? Me too, Luke. Alamede says, all good, Scott. Beer's been chilling in the fridge and is going to sit outside. Oh, the weather's insane. It almost feels a little bit wrong sitting or standing in the spare bedroom filming this because I know the weather's so good outside. Yeah. Matt Williams says, evening, guys. Evening, Matt. Thanks for coming in, mate. Scott says, Scotty Too Hot. He did the worm. That was it. Did he have the top hat, though? I feel like there was a top hat with the top cut off and then his blonde hair sticking out the top.
Based on the next comment, I think we're confusing two people.
I
don't know who the other one was.
Were there three in D-Generation X?
I don't know. I think I watched it. I think I watched it from like 99 to 2002. That was a long time ago now.
I literally remember running around at the age of 14 doing the X thing. Someone told you off, you'd be like, have that, and then you'd run away. God, good old days. Matt Hall, hey you guys. Matt, good to see you, mate. Really, really good to see you. I hope you and your lovely wife are doing well. James says, cheers, Matt Hall. Yeah, he had a stupid hat. Yeah, I thought it was. I feel like it was like snow leopard print or something. Yeah, my mother-in-law would wear that probably because she loves a bit of leopard print. Matt Hall says, cheers, Jamie. Had a stupid hat like Philby. Hey, don't you insult the hat, Luke. That'll get you banned from YouTube in a heartbeat.
The trilby is a sentient being and it'll come after you.
It's going to be one of those things. Where is Trilby? Is he down in sort of Sussex or
West
Sussex?
I don't know. He's definitely south compared to me. I don't know about compared to you.
God, yeah, no, that's true. That hat will be what the Cornish pasty is to Cornwall soon. I'm telling you, if he carries on. Scott one says, 1997 to 2002, the glory years. That's pretty much when I watched wrestling back in I remember like the cage fight between Mankind and Kane, and it was like, oh my god, he nearly died. You know, that's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Mick Foley was a standout, wasn't he?
Oh mate, what a guy! And then Turning Point brought out a beer called Milk Foley, which was like, I've got the can. We've just put the can in the horse box. It was like a kind of you know, Mankind used to wear that like lumberjack shirt.
Yes,
red and black or red and brown.
Yeah.
The camera was like that, and it had Milk Foley written on it. It was like a milk.
I've seen it before. Yeah, I've not had one.
Strawberry milkshake pale or something. Phillies and Andover. Where's Andover? Is that?
Well, based on Jamie's comment, two down, Southampton broader area.
I've just seen Luke's comment. Trilby or Kent's Fedora the Fedora Trilby, Southampton. Andover is a suburb of... No, I'm not reading that. And James, I think Andover. So that's probably Hampshire then. Because I feel that's like... Where's Salisbury? Wiltshire. Could be Wiltshire. Could be Wiltshire.
Maybe.
No need to swear, Jamie. Scott says about Southampton. Well, good job they got relegated this year, eh? Matt Hall says Mick Foley was held together by gaffer tape and sheer will. The amount of damage he took. Do you remember that they were like whacking each other with like... I know it's all fake, but there was elements of that where you're like, this isn't fake. He's whacking him with like a massive piece of wood with barbed wire around it, and he's bleeding.
Yeah.
Like, I think he actually took some damage.
Yeah, and I mean, inevitably, even if you look at it just from from an athletic standpoint in terms of the amount of movement someone had to do, like it was insane.
Yeah, just ridiculous. I mean, they were. I mean, when you look at like even like people like, do you remember Rikishi Fatu, the big Japanese guy that come out? Like he looked like a big old lump, didn't he? But I bet you any money he was as fit as a butcher's dog. That bloke. Some of the stuff he used to do.
True.
Maybe not his finishing move, which was called Stinky Face, where he used to literally rub his bum in people's faces.
Yeah, it was those points where you're like, I'm not sure how legitimate this is.
Yeah, and the geezer's going in the corner up against the turnbuckle.
Indeed.
Captain Meeks, how you doing, mate? He says the Ronnie and Reggie of Beer Tube.
Who's
He
who?
did say that in a comment actually on one of Tom's videos, I believe.
That was the Guinness video from yesterday.
That was a good fun filming that. And that Guinness, what was it called? The special export, Tom.
That was it was special export, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Good beer.
Very good beer.
I think I said at the time, if you put an Emperor's label on the front, you'd be happy with it.
You're not wrong. I mean, I reckon Damien from Emperors might disagree with you.
No, he might, but then he'd put some sort of mad.
I'll probably see him next Friday. Shall I ask him for you?
No, because he's bigger than me. Although he's a good old boy. He's a good old boy. David Wood says, "Hi, Captain." Scott says, "We can't really celebrate Southampton's relegation, having spent 7 seasons in League One." Scott, I'm a Charlton fan, and I absolutely feel your pain. I think we had 1 season out of there. We've got new owners. Well, I think it's all going through. I think we're getting new owners now. So here's hoping for the year. Probably knowing our luck, the current owner will just be a bit of a arsehole about things. Hold the new buyers out to the end of the transfer window, and then we've got loads of kids playing. What are you doing, Tom? You look like you're leaning.
I've got a question for you.
Talk to me.
Out of those beers you bought me last weekend, yes. I want you to pick one that's not the Sierra Nevada collab or the Impy, and I'm going to drink one on stream.
Or it's a hot day. Oh, are you going to lose it though after a pale ale?
I think so. I think probably not that one that you're thinking of.
Not that one as well. So what did I buy? A Goza?
There's the Goza. There's Cowella. Shall I get? Hold on. Let me get the whole thing out.
And
there's the other Adnams, the Lazy Sipper.
That I'll tell you what. Try that.
Yeah.
Try that. Yeah. I so in my town where I live, there's an Adnam shop. It's brilliant because I know the guys in there quite well. And I walked into the shop and walked in. I can't remember the lady's name. I know Tom who manages the place, but I don't know the lady's name behind the bar. I said, "Have you got any new beers in?" Because they're always every sort of. It feels like every month they might drop 1 or 2. And you said we've got the Lazy Sipper, and it was a 4% IPL, Tom, or is it a cold? Is it an IPL or a cold IPA?
It's a cold session IPA.
There we go. At 4%, I do believe.
4% on the nose, you are correct.
And I don't know if she got me on a Thursday after work where I was like, like that first beer that you taste is always like the best thing in the world. I don't know if she just got me at the right time because I went straight from work in there before going home. And she said, "We've got the Lazy Sipper. Do you want to try some?" I was like, "Yeah, great." Poured me. I was like, "Wow." I was like, "This is really good." And I do think that Adnams, they know how to brew sort of, in my opinion, they can brew fantastic beers across about 4 or 5 different styles. I think they do fantastic lagers. I think their dark ales are good. I think their pales are, before they released Ghost Ship Citra, which was just, the normal Ghost Ship was good. They can brew a good stout. So this is kind of like a lager pale kind of hybrid because it's session, but I'll be interested to see what you think. I think they might have learned a bit off of Sierra Nevada with this. If I remember rightly about the hop profile.
It's Kashmir, Amarillo, and Simcoe. So we'll find out.
Not necessarily West Coast then. Mind you, Amarillo's a bit West Coast, isn't it?
I'm hoping to have my eyes open here because living in a place that only gets the generic Green King equivalents of Adnams beers, I've never had a good one. So I'm hoping that's about to change right now.
But in other news, I've got the Salt Sabro, and I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 beer because you can sort of almost taste a couple of cheats, but it's pretty decent.
It looks exactly how you'd expect, kind of lagery with a bit of slightly darker tinge to it.
I don't think Adnams are capable of brewing a light beer, like a true light beer. They could never brew like a light lager because they're what they do with their malt. Every beer is quite dark.
It's got a very, I don't know how to describe it. You know, you get dank in the really resinous form, and then there's I always feel like there's a lighter version that kind of it's like dank lemongrass almost. It's that kind of.
I know what you're talking about. I often say it as is it slightly earthy?
Yeah, it is. It's got a bit of. It's almost funky, but not in a yeasty way.
Mm.
I think I'll describe it. We'll give it a go. Cheers, Mark. Thank you for the beer.
Oh, no problem. Saw it.
That is way more complex than I thought it was going to be. I've got it on big screen. Hello, everyone. Now this is going to be a tricky one because I've never had either an IPL or a cold IPA or whatever you want to call them that I've necessarily really, really enjoyed.
No, I'm not a fan of hybrid styles.
But that is leaps and bounds ahead of every other one I've had.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I can say that much. The hop profile, I don't know. What's Cashmere like? I can't really think. I've had a lot of Cashmere heavy.
I have a tasting. I have a hop sheet somewhere. Yeah, this is it. So I have my Charles Farram hop sheet here. Cashmere, I believe, is an American hop. It is peach, lemon, and tangerine.
And what's Amarillo's description? I know what Simcoe is. But...
Orange, peach, and grapefruit. So it should be quite orangey and peachy. I remember it being quite light, so I probably got more peach than anything else, I think, at the time. But Simcoe is going to bring that sort of piney, slightly resinous vibe.
Yeah, it feels more stone fruit, but with a few kind of citrus notes. But it's very drinkable. It's very, very refreshing.
I think that's probably where she got me. She saw me in my work clothes and she was like, "You need Arnu Session IPL, whatever it's called."
But the good news is every other either cold IPA or IPL I've ever drank, I've wanted to pour down the drain, and this one I'm going to drink. So
I just remember it being really refreshing. I only had it a week ago, but she literally, I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't get given a can of it. You don't sit there and drink a can. You drink sort of 50 milliliters, maybe a little bit more at most. I remember tasting it going, cool. It had a sharpness, it had a freshness, it was light. And like you say, it had a bit of character, that kind of slightly dank character kind of gave it a bit of depth. And I was like, this is actually right.
I think this is, and the more I'm drinking of it, the better it's getting as well, because it was probably slightly jarring after the Sierra Nevada, even though they're theoretical. Oh, he's got one. He's got one.
I know I have one because... Where is it? I know I have one because I bought an Eastern Edge.
As a hand emerges.
Yes, I do. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah.
No, it's good.
Might go on that next after this quite decent, actually. Salt Sabro jibe. Yeah, it's decent.
A minute ago, you said it was okay. Now it's decent.
Yeah, I know. I think the more I'm drinking of it, I don't know whether the two pale ale styles were clashing a little bit. The coconut's coming through a lot more now. It was kind of coming through as like slightly it was slightly a bit too perfumey coconut. It was kind of a bit bordering weirdly because this would never be a flavour or a sensation that you'd associate with coconut. But it was slightly menthol in a way where it was like too perfumey.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Whereas now it's a lot more creamy. So whether I kind of had a bit of a overlap between styles.
Yeah, I think the Sierra Nevada kind of leftover taste on my palate was getting rid of the fruity element in this. So it was only dank to start with, and now it's starting to.
That beer's good. If you like coconut, I don't know. Coconut's quite a sort of marmitey, divisive thing, but that's good.
No, I'm going to get some of that.
That was no more than £3. It could have been £2.50, but I feel like it was £3.
Was that Asda? Did you say
Asda? Yes.
There we go. Lovely. Right.
Let's
Comments are
skip
slipping again. Get going.
Yeah,
Get going.
I know. I'm a nightmare. Luke John said it was meant to be meats. It was meant to be meats, but his new phone likes meter better. Luke John says, I'm a Middlesbrough fan, Scott. I don't know how to celebrate. Well, mate. Well, hold on a minute. You've done all right towards the end of the season. If you got Michael Carrick in 4 games earlier, you'd be promoted, mate. Captain Me says, all right, guys. Hello, mate. He said, Jamie says, if we're celebrating rubbish football teams, up the Port Vale. Yeah. I don't feel so bad about being a Charlton fan now. Is Gozer the baddie in Ghostbusters?
Could be. I can't remember.
I don't know. I've never seen Ghostbusters.
Can't remember.
Different levels. Jamie says, Luke, don't mind a bit of tinge in the. Oh, you horrible man. You horrible young man. Captain Meat says, dank is a good way to describe Boris Johnson's smell. Yeah, I reckon he smells like armpits.
I've never sniffed him.
Luke John, hello, darling. Oh, hello. Do you want to be on YouTube? No, I've got my daughter down here and we've got my niece. Come here then.
Ordering Chinese at 6:30.
Who's this? Say hiya. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Hi, Tom. Say hi. Say wave. Good girl. And this is Georgie, my niece. Say hi, Tom.
Double trouble.
Double trouble indeed. Say hi, Tom.
Come on,
Waving
Hi,
time.
yeah, Tom. Right. Take her.
Not very enthusiastic today.
Off the pop.
Right, you're ordering Chinese at 6:30, so think about what you want.
6:30. Oh, dude, jeez. Ordering Chinese at 6:30. Okay, just my usual salt and pepper chicken, everything else. Luke John Frost says, I was enjoying Tom's new setup until I seen the prancing horse.
Luke's not been paying very good attention. That's been there for
The whole time, nearly.
ever since I stopped filming in my kitchen, and which was about 3 months in. So yeah, there's powers of observation there, Luke. I'm not going to apologise for that. Also, anyone, this is going to get really niche, and we won't bore everyone with motorsport. But if anyone is watching Le Mans, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. We can talk about it. Ferrari 1-2 in qualifying for the hypercar series, their first year in hypercars in 50 years.
I wish I cared about Le Mans. I really do. I really do wish I cared about it. Just goes on for too long, doesn't it? Tom says, Jamie says, Tom, are you a rum drinker? And if so, what's your go-to bottle?
I don't dislike it. I don't tend to go for it, just because there's not an occasion in my mind where there's not a whiskey I'd rather drink. But that said, I prefer dark, unspiced rum, or at least not very filtered rum is probably the right description. Not the really dark stuff, but Mount Gay is the one that sticks in my head. Has always been like, that's my benchmark that might sway me into saying yes if someone's like, "Do you want one of these?"
Yeah.
But I quite like it. If whiskey didn't exist, rum is probably what I get into.
I do like a rum. Like, that's my shorter choice. I think if I go out on a few of the beers, a rum and coke, a good rum and coke is up my street, I will tell you. Jamie says he's sort of getting into it. You've got access to, you won't have for long when you go to Finland. That's probably going to be a bit more vodka based, I reckon. You've probably got a bit of Russian influence over in Finland.
So, I'll be honest, I think if I suppose we probably do, but I just can't get as excited about it. But properly good Northern and Eastern European vodka is, it's a different thing. It really is.
Luke Johnson says, go for Kraken, Jamie. I've heard a lot about Kraken. I feel like I've had a Kraken and Coke recently, but didn't really stick in the memory. Luke Johnson says, I'm usually drunk, Tom. This is all new to me. Captain says, best motorsport movie. Top 3 is Senna, Rush, and Ford versus Ferrari. I thought Rush might have been better than Senna as a movie, just because it was more movie.
Yeah,
But
Senna was
I
a
did
documentary.
Yeah, Senna was more of a documentary. It didn't have that kind of like Hollywood drama. Like whatever they'd done with Rush was amazing. Like amazing.
Rush to me felt like the perfect balance of dramatization and kind of accurate recreation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm slightly terrified about whatever this new film's going to be.
What is it?
Oh, I can't even remember. I feel like what's his name? I forgot. I can't
Moraine
remember any names now. No.
A film about Moraine Carthagena.
It's a as far as I'm aware, it's not like a true life story like Rush was.
Oh, okay. It's more of a
or
Formula One
Ford
drama
Ferrari
thing.
was. It's like a Formula One themed film. It's basically just another step into the Americanization of Formula One. So I'm a little bit begrudged
Sounds
by it,
absolutely minging in that case.
It does a little bit. It does a little bit.
Luke John Frost says white Caribbean rum is great for the feel good factor. I will drink that happily in a cocktail, but yeah. Matt Hall says my favorite rum is Plantation XO. Dave Wilson's off. Good to see you, David. David says it's a film called Gran Turismo.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, I don't like this Americanization of the Formula One thing. I just don't. It's weird. It's just so strange.
Just going off, Matt Hall's just reminded me. I don't know. I've not tried Plantation XO, but some of the more like I think they do a 12 and a 15-year-old Appleton Estate. Quite like those.
My father-in-law got me into rum. He would buy like is it called the Havana Club Especial or the 7-year, whatever the bet. I think the 7-year might be the normal one. Huh?
They do loads of different ones. Havana Club.
Oh, some of the Havana Club stuff. That was on really my gateway into rum, and I was like, oh my god. And my father-in-law, he's one of those guys. Like, if he gets on form, the rum's coming out. He'll start on John Smith's because he's like that era, and then all of a sudden, if his cheeks go red and he starts smiling uncontrollably, the rum's coming out. And the next thing you're being given like triple rum and a dash of coke. He's sort of one of those guys. Oh, Tommy, where are we going? I was kind of up for the. Yeah, let's do the lazy sip. I think it's just going to clash in my mouth.
You're doing it. I've still got most of mine left.
This can was about £2.50 as well.
Oh, bargainous. See, I didn't know that before drinking it. So it's one of those. Price does need to go into consideration a little bit. If you told me that was £6 a can, I'd have said I probably would bother. At £2.50 a can, though. Yes.
It's so light. But I know what you mean with that dankness. It's not. It's kind of mixed in with the citrus a little bit for me, and it's
almost like piney funk. It's weird. It's a bit
piney funk's probably the right word.
It's
kind of a bit.
No.
Cabbage is the wrong word because it's not cabbage, and I know like some beers you get a bit cabbagey, but it's not far off being like danky funk cabbage vibe.
Yeah, it's close. It's just got a little bit more freshness about it than that.
Yeah, it's definitely more zesty, which kind of lifts it away from being like that.
She's arrived.
Hello.
Hello.
The lady that fed and watered me for the 48 hours I was in.
She has arrived.
Nottinghamshire. I'm surprised that glass of wine is so small. Not so much the glass, but more the measure.
There's definitely
the bottle is definitely out there, isn't it?
No. The glass is massive, so that's probably bigger than a large you get in a pub.
What the measure is?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a massive glass.
Cheers, MTB.
She's walked out of the room now, but she'll be back in a minute.
So what else has been happening then? What else has been happening in the world? What's been going on?
Good question.
Has there been any beer news? It's been quite quiet, isn't it?
So, well, the only bits I think I have mentioned this on a stream before, so it's not new, but Black Sheep got investment, got an investment firm backer, so they're carrying on, which is good news.
I knew they would. I said to you, they're too big. They're just too big to go.
They were too big to go. Thankfully, they're carrying on. I know they're not everyone's cup of tea. I have a soft spot for them because it's one of those breweries that actually in a couple of videos we did last weekend, I was trying to think of examples of like pre-craft brewers that were doing exciting stuff, and Black Sheep was one of those people at that time.
Not the pineapple milkshake IPA.
No, that was a recent failed endeavor. Horrible stuff. So yeah, that's good news. I've got a bit of a soft spot for them for that reason. I don't want to see them go. There is some other news though. Have you seen that?
Hit me.
Carlsberg Marsden have put Ringwood up for sale.
Okay.
So for those that
That.
it was, I saw the news and I was like, who's Ringwood? And I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah,
but you will
but
recognise it from
Boondoggle
the
and-
market. Old Thumper, the one with the pig on it, the ball. Yeah, that big one.
Boondoggle. What's the bit of they? But Boondoggle's a pale ale. It's decent. Like that's interesting.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah,
That's
they've got
quite
them up for
surprising.
sale,
because
so-
that's, Ringwood Breweries in a real tourist hotspot, right on the north edge of the New Forest.
Okay, so you probably see more of their stuff than I do. It's a bit closer to you.
I did back in Kent, not so much up here in Norfolk, but when I
Yeah.
lived in Kent, we got a lot of the Ringwood stuff.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Looks like a big brewery.
Oh, they're huge. They are.
Yeah, reasonably
big.
big site.
Well,
So-
say big in terms of like before the
Yeah.
macro stuff, but the quality definitely dropped off. I mean, if I think about Ringwood 6-7 years ago, that's when I first found Boondoggle, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane! Like a British pale ale, and it makes no apologies for being a British pale ale rather than like a New World pale ale. Insane. Oh, sorry, I'm talking absolute ass. It was Razorback. Mersey Beers just reminded me. Boondoggle was there. Amber Ale, was it? But yeah, certainly brands are sort of names that stick in my mind for good reasons as well. So that's really interesting, actually. Be interesting to see what happens there. I wonder. So who owned them before? Molson Coors did.
No, Carlsberg Marsden, as in Witchwood. And,
Marsden.
all
Yeah.
those.
That's still a fair big concern, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. They put it up for sale. It's not they do want rid of it clearly, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell you never really know what the cause for that is. Is it that brewery's not doing very well, so they want rid of it, or is it they need to find capital to buy someone else, so they've tried to let one go that they think they can sell quite successfully? Like, there's that.
Yeah.
I don't know which way they're going with it. So we will
Be
see.
interesting to see what happens to Ringwood though, because I think the quality's there for Ringwood. I've had a lot of their stuff on cast. There's a pub near me called the Bell, and that used to do Ringwood. You probably go in there. We used to go in there every Sunday because we used to do Sunday club at the pub. Probably every second or third Sunday, you get a Ringwood cask in there. And that was decent.
Okay.
Let's have a quick look.
Interesting to see.
Jamie says in Finland they have mate. I've had a couple of beers now. Kosken Kurva vodka. I know it's more like this. Kosken Kurva. Bit more Kimmy. bit more Kimmy. Just Luke whilst I'm sending the dog mad. Although that's going to be Nanak, isn't it?
Yeah, they've just been released, so they're clattering around now.
Luke John says 2017 McLaren movie. I might be biased though. Didn't watch it.
That's why he doesn't like my prancing horse on the wall. So yeah, never mind. Never mind. Yes, the less we say about McLaren right now, probably the better at this point.
Yeah, it's absolutely honking down there at the moment. I had a tour of the McLaren factory. When was that? 2018, early 2018. My God, what a place! But the people that work in there are robots. Everything's done on like beeps. So like a beep means all go to lunch. A beep means go back to lunch. It's all like they're just ants in. Yeah, it's pretty mean. Like you can see. You know what I mean?
I guess 2018 was. Ron Dennis was back in at that point, wasn't he?
It was the Zach Brown had just. Whenever I went, Zach Brown had just taken over. The cars had just come back from Barcelona, so that would have been May time.
Yeah.
May, June time.
May,
And
yeah.
Carlos Sainz was racing for them. And it might have been
Okay.
Alonso. Was Alonso in there at the time?
Did they have those? No, that would have been.
It's like we went in a bay literally like 2 days after the Spanish Grand Prix, and they were like, yeah, that's Carlos's car being broken down, being sent away for analysis.
That would have been Norris's first year, wouldn't it?
Norris wasn't in the seat.
No? Okay.
No, not 2018.
Interesting. Yeah.
Ah, you know it was? Was it Stoffel Van Dorn? No.
That was before
No.
what? Oh, it might have been. No, you might
I
be
feel
on
like
the money
Carlos was like the name. It was like, this is Carlos's car.
there. Yeah.
But
yeah, Van Dorn and Sainz at the same time. Yeah, that matches up.
good place to be. It was a really, really interesting place. If you want to splash a bit, Jamie, try and get Appleton's 21-year-old. It's superb.
I've had the 15. It is nice.
Philip Schofield likes the 15-year-old more than 21-year-old. Mersey Beer says, sorry, did I miss
Your
the
channel.
discussion about- Yeah. Did you? It's a joke. Okay, we can joke. Did I miss the discussion about the new tap room in Nottingham? Had to jump off to fail my MOT? No.
So you didn't, because I asked you a question, but you disappeared. Mate, you know something I don't. When I saw your comment come in, I even searched for it. Who's opening a tap room? Because
Where
the
is
user's
it?
gone clean. Yeah. Where are you? I've got no idea. So yeah, tell me more. And while I wait for his reply, I'm going for a pee. I'll be back in a few seconds.
A splish and a splash. Captain Meat says, Mark, how was staying in the west wing of their castle? Did you swim in the moat and go pheasant shooting while at Tom's? No. First of all, it's not so much a castle, it's more of a country estate. So you're talking probably kind of Windsor / Balmoral vibes. So in between doing the jousting, fencing, and sword fighting, you had to dodge the big old croquet green in the middle. It's mad. Prince William was playing with one of his kids there. It was a bit weird. And then MCB signalled the cooks to do the breakfast. And I had a couple of good night's sleeps on a duck feather mattress. It was lovely. MCB's laughing probably because she can see me now. Let's have a quick look. Where are we? Fun fact, McLaren follow me on Twitter. No, they do not. Do they? Oh, my Lord. Jamie, I wouldn't boast about that either, Luke. It's probably just delete it, mate. Jamie says, Mersey Beer, sorry to hear that, Adam. What did it fail on? Oh, it's minging, isn't it? That's a parcel mode sizes, Adam. 49er was a Ringwood beer, was it? I don't ever remember 49er. Mersey says, just a single broken front coil spring. Very annoying. Razorback, another Ringwood recipe. That was the one I was thinking of. Jamie says, was that expensive, Mersey, or something DIY? Mersey says, Marston's swallowed up a load of breweries like Witchwood and Ringwood years before Carlsberg bought them. I did wonder if Marston and Witchwood have export value, whereas Ringwood doesn't. Yeah. That's a fair point, actually. Brand export value.
Oh, okay.
Marston, Old Peculiar. Just that beer alone must do some trips. Witchwood, the Hobgoblin series must. You could probably go to America and buy a box of 3 Hobgoblin. It's going to be the golden, the ruby, and the original.
I'd imagine so. You want a bit of brewery trivia?
Hit me.
When you walk in, well, I don't know if it's still there. Many years ago, I'm trying to remember what year we went. Witchwood. I'm looking at Dictionary Corner for an answer. Probably 15 years ago, maybe a bit less. When you walked in, there was a picture on the wall, and it was a photo of David Cameron handing Barack Obama a 4-pack of Hobgoblin.
There we go.
There you go.
One sec, I'm ordering some Chinese. Tommy.
I'll do the thing while he orders his succulent Chinese meal. Jamie C says, actually, not a bad effort, Mark. I don't know what I was in reference to. It might have been the Ringwood stuff. Luke says April 2018. Zach was with the team from 2016. May is always Circuit Catalunya. So we got some stats there correct. It was Alonso and Van Dorn. Okay, so Carlos wasn't there and he was talking out of his proverbial. Mersey says, bang the elephant, an Emperor's joint tap room. Raggy posted about it yesterday. You know what? I've seen the post and I skim read it and I assumed it was a joint enterprise for like NCBF or something. I clearly wasn't paying proper attention. Yes, it's called the Tuscan Raider. Okay, I'm an idiot. I've read the post and missed the main point about it. It's going to be called the Tuscan Raider. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll find out. Have they announced? Let me have a quick scope through the socials. Let me go and find Mr. Ragster. There we go. The Tuscan Raider. There you go. Tap House Food and Music. I have been an idiot. More details soon. So we don't know where it's going to be yet. They are two of the best experimental brewers in the UK, I reckon. So that tap room is going to be insane. So I'm very excited by that. Mersey also says it's got a brilliant name, the Tuscan Raider. The Tuscan Raider. I mean, it's only funny if you know Star Wars, but that's good. That's good, and it makes perfect sense because the elephant tusk thing. That's a beautifully executed pun.
You do like a pun.
I do like a good pun. There's a dog under my bar trying to access things. Hello, mate. What are you doing? You being a pest? He does. He's trying to fish out the scampy fries. Jimmy Rushworth saying, "How you doing, mate?" He says, "Drury lad, nice to see you. When are you off to Francoise? Bring me back any French craft beer? Question mark. We'll ask him when he returns from ordering his succulent Chinese meal." And Mersey says, in response to Jamie's question about whether it's going to be a costly fix or a DIY job about his broken front spring, so it's going to be costly. Halfords want to charge me 202 for it, but a mechanic and I will do it for 120 to 150, depending on parts. That sounds a bit more, a bit more reasonable. He says, I may know where the Tuscan Raider will be. 14 low pavement. 14A low pavement. Shall we see what's currently there or what was there? Right, 14A low pavement. So it's in town, in the centre, properly.
Low pavement's proper centre, isn't it?
Proper centre. Low pavement. Low. Why are you not coming up with low pavement? Wants me to go to high pavement. There's definitely a low pavement. Let's go to 14 low pavement. That is that's on the bougiest road in town. That's like the Paul Smith shop and the Magic Garden, which is about the bougiest cocktail place going. I don't know if French Connection is still there. That's where that was.
Right.
Yeah, that is a bourgeois establishment. Marquis is back in the room.
Hello, order made.
Right then, Dictionary Corner wants to live vicariously through your Chinese order. What have you ordered?
Salt and pepper chicken.
Okay.
Prawn sesame seed toast.
Nice.
With satay sauce.
Yes.
And special fried rice to be shared.
Sounds good to me.
Beige.
It's quite beige, but I appreciate it.
Beige?
It's quite beige.
Oh, yeah, but knowing you, Tom, you're going to have some, like, Guangzhou dancing duck or something, aren't you?
Sorry, you're misinterpreting. I don't mean beige as in flavour. I mean, literally, the plate will be 50 Shades of Beige.
50 Shades of Beige. Do you reckon that could be, like, a really boring porn film?
I reckon it was shot in an old people's home. Right, in terms of comments, you need to jump to Jimmy's comment at 0623 to answer that.
I'll tell you what, I'm interested in this because I saw it on Instagram.
Oh, we're going to come back. Oh, so you did know about it?
Was I not meant to?
This is the new Nottingham tap room.
Oh, I thought it was a joint beer.
Yes, what I thought as well when I saw it.
I don't read the text.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did exactly the same thing. I went, oh, that's like a collab for NCBF or something.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
Let's come back to that in a minute. And answer Jimmy first, and then Mersey's got another comment further down about this. Where we can talk
I know Jimmy's a friend of mine. Jimmy has been in Italy, and I know he's. Talk about your Italian craft beer, Jimmy, for a minute, because there was an Italian craft brewer that I went to have some beer from at GBBF. I can't remember the name of it. It was one of the best beers I had all weekend. Druid, I'd nice to see you. When are you off to Francais? I'm off to Francais very soon. Very, very soon. Bringing any French craft beer back. I did last time, but it was like honking bad. Like you'd have pale ales, and every beer had like a farmhouse saison sort of funk to it, and I was not a fan. If you're drinking like a really soft beer, like a pale or a New England, don't be putting that yeast in that beer. Although I hold out hope because the French craft beer revolution is in its infancy, really. Tommy, you had some French craft beers recently that you did a video on, and you really enjoyed them.
I did. They were all from the same brewery, tiny kind of brew pub stuff, really, but they did bottle it.
Brasserie.
The brasserie, indeed. It was decent. It was genuinely decent. It wasn't life changing, but there was no severe funk to it. It was very quaffable, and got to think this was from a place on the very close to being the south coast, kind of southwest.
Bit of Spanish influence in there, maybe.
Not quite that far down, but it gets hot down there. So you got to think these beers are designed for people, very touristy areas. So it's going to be it's going to be quaffable, to say the least.
There we go. Mersey Beer says Halfers want to charge me 202 for it, but Mechanic I know can do it for 120 to 150 depending on parts. Well, that's £70 spent on beer, Mersey, so I'm all for that, mate. He says I may know where the Tusker and Raider will be.
So this is the tap room, the new tap room in Nottingham.
Ooh,
the Tuscan Raider. So yeah,
makes sense. Hold on, Tusk, Elephant, Raider, Star Wars, like that.
Well, you're not a film buff, so so if you remove the and put an in there, Tuscan Raider is actually a thing in Star Wars. So it's a clever play on words.
I don't know what that means. What's the 14A low pavement?
So he was telling me, I asked where it was because there was no details, and he seems to have got the lowdown, as Mosey, because he knows everything always about all beers.
He does. He's bloody knowledgeable.
So I tell you where it is. We would have walked past where it's going to be when we were out last weekend. Can you remember?
No,
he can't remember. We walked up the same strip twice.
Yes,
and
where all the nice restaurants were, like the individual restaurants.
Yeah, it could be. It was where
open front sort of restaurants.
I tell you what. The first time we passed it, it was early on in the day, and we'd walked up past like where I said there was a shopping centre used to be, and it'd been knocked down. And you went past. You were going through up a really, really busy shopping stuff that had like H&M on one side and whatever.
On the way to the Angel.
On the way to
King's Head.
On the way to the King's Head. Then we turned right, and all of a sudden it felt really bougie.
Yes,
it's on that strip there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be good.
Wow. Okay. I'm just sort of thinking where that fits into Norwich's craft beer scene, and it will fit perfectly. I'm just thinking about how good Norwich's craft beer scene becomes in, once people hear the word. Luke John says, typical of Mark, gets the stream going, leaves some to it and goes for food. Mind you, the door frame might get a night off. Luke. It's true, though. Captain Meats, Tom, while you were out, Mark said that the swan and pheasant pie was not very nice and your car park was very mediocre.
Well,
the swan and peasant pie, sorry, yeah.
Not pheasant. Either way, I'm not sure which way he's going with that. Half and half.
Someone asked me if I stayed in the west wing of your castle, and I talked about how Prince Willie was playing croquet with one of his kids, and you had to sort of dance around the kind of the jesters and stuff. It was a bit weird at times. Jimmy says the most rural Norfolk Chinese order I've ever heard. Okay, Jimmy, you live near. Where do you live near? Epping. What would you order, Jimmy? What would you
Look,
order?
I wanted to give you a bit more of a tussling for that order, but you didn't order chips, so you get let off.
I'd happily order salt and pepper chips. I would happily order that, but I didn't.
Dictionary Corner is
Is that
shaking their head
bad?
at you in disgust. I don't know.
What would you order? What would your What would your Chinese order be?
Singapore noodles. That's my
Yep.
my favorite. The spiciest the vermicelli ones. Vermicelli, however you pronounce it. And then on the main,
the limoncello noodles.
limoncello noodles. Hey, that could work too.
It's Italian. It's called spaghetti, Tom.
Weirdly, despite being so close to a city, we only had one really good Chinese, and it lost its battle during COVID because they refused to move to it. They wouldn't take online orders, and they'd only take cash. So went out the door, unfortunately. If I had to pick a default, it would be the spicy noodles with chicken Szechuan or whatever, however you pronounce that. Szechuan. That one.
Is that a curry? Szechuan curry?
No, it's not more like. In terms of consistency, it's more like chicken and black bean, but the sauce is different.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
What about MCB? What's MCB ordering on a Friday?
I changed. I don't know. They're really on the same thing.
Yeah, she chops and changes. This place we used to go to, you did a dish that was phenomenal, but I've never seen it in any other Chinese restaurant, and it was called sesame chicken in plum sauce, and it was like,
oh, that sounds insane.
Yeah, so it was like breaded fried chicken, but instead of being a proper breadcrumb coating, it was like sesame seed coating.
Oh,
chopped up into fine strips, and then just the most stickiest, like impy stout, sickly plum sauce on it. It was just insane.
I'm a gluttonous pig, so that absolutely speaks to me. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
No, fair play. Chris, hello, mate. Beer Dog Reviews. Edith Ton and Mark. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, mate. Really good. Thank you, mate. I hope you're well as well down there. But it's beautiful down there, isn't it, now, this time of year? Mosey Business Tap Room info. 14A used to be Thea Cafe, apparently, but that's been closed.
There you go.
Eric Granland, how you doing, my man? Good evening. Drinking a double IPA from Tuol. Their number 6 double IPA was fantastic, I remember. Almost minty taste from the hops.
Minty.
Funny you should say that, because I had a kind of minty vibe from this beer I've drunk recently. Mint.
Minty.
Is that Sriracha Ace? I feel like Sriracha Ace brings mint to the party. Chris says sand people.
It is time.
No. See, the thing is, I want to drink more canned stuff because I've got so much good bottle and can, but I've got this in there. And otherwise, if I don't get through that, it's going to be one of those things. Jimmy Rushworth, 92, says, yeah, picked up some lovely Italian craft beers from a specialist bottle shop and bar. Stand-up breweries were Renton, Radiocraft, and Birra della Marino. Portugal's
Nice.
Babadook from Renton. So nice. Jimmy knows his beers. Jimmy's that guy that has... Jimmy doesn't go to Beer 52. Jimmy doesn't go to Flavorly because he knows brews do the good stuff. He's like one of those guys. Kind of like us, really, I suppose. But yeah. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jimmy knows his stuff. Luke John says, right, chaps, I am off. Tonight on my menu is a venison tenderloin with Dauphinoise potatoes and a red wine reduction. No beer means better eating, like the good old days. To be fair, mate, you probably get gout. You're going to get gout more if you've got gout.
I'm not fussed about dolphin nose potatoes, but the rest of it sounds banging.
Dauphinoise potato. Get out, Tom. I'm not having it. Unbelievable things.
You know, okay, I've got maybe this is probably just a me thing. They're always way too hot. Like the rest of the meal is cold by the time the potatoes are edible. And I don't see the point in that. I think it's ridiculous.
I'm with you. I don't eat hot dauphinoise for two reasons. Hot sticky cheese burns the roof of your mouth. Everyone knows that. Rule number one. Second thing, you lose so much of that creaminess and the garlicness because you're doing the old Rolf Harris. You're going, and then you're not tasting what you're trying to eat.
I'm glad you clarified which part of Rolf Harris's repertoire you were doing there.
Less said the better.
Indeed. Indeed.
Already mentioned his mate earlier, didn't I? Mersey Beer says Polish unfiltered lager. Oh, Tommy, look at that.
Look, the filth. Filth.
Oh, in the right glassware as well. We do love to see it. Mersey Beer says Polish unfiltered lager and pork scratchings. Oh, what a combo. He's taking the sting out of this week. Fair play, mate. That is a combo and a half.
Very good.
Jimmy Rusher says he's opened it up with chicken chow mein.
I'm not. No, it's a perfectly acceptable entry.
Jimmy, have you put your order in here, or is this Barnsley's order? Jimmy's wife, Barnsley. Beef in black bean sauce, spring roll, / prawn toast. I've got respect for that. But chicken chow mein and beef and black bean. Mate, I'm nearly falling asleep that order, and I'm just reading it. And I thought mine was bad. Tom, was your old Chinese run by camera members?
So that's in response to no online orders, take cash only. That's funny. I doubt it, but yeah, I'm with you.
Eric Granlund says Szechuan, or whatever it's called, is a region in China with their own cuisine. Yeah, China's. I mean, you do forget how big China is. I mean, you could break down China into when you think in Europe we've got the Netherlands, Denmark, Belgium's a big country, but even Belgium and Germany that touch each other. That's four countries.
Belgium's not a big country.
Oh, it's bloody long. I'll tell you, when you drive down to Spa, it feels like a long country.
Yeah, okay.
Just because it's like it goes kind of weirdly squarely circular, and then it sort of does this like weird wiggly bit right at the bottom, and that's where we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Hall says we just smashed a couple of cans of Spider Monkey from Black Isle and then a Coalition Brewing Blushing Bride. I'll tell you what, that Spider Monkey, that is that a session IPA?
Yeah, it's
in
good.
A blue can.
Yeah, it is. That's properly good.
God. There's something. Black Isle, Scottish brewery. If we talk about Glen Speen, so Tom very kindly got hold of me some Glen Speen beers whilst you're up there.
Mm-hmm.
The water is different. You can tell right off the bat they're Scottish beers.
Yeah.
I mean, just between them.
No messing.
No messing at all. Chris, and then he had a Coalition Brewing Blushing Bride.
I'm not familiar with that.
No, me neither. Chris says, have to dash, only flying visit. I have to cook dinner. Chris, get a Chinese in, mate. What's your order, Chris? Yeah, take care, mate. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Jimmy says, Guinness review you guys did on Crummy's channel was class, by the way. Loving the collab content.
More to come.
Well, the thing is, everybody talks about loving the collab content, and Tom actually messaged me today saying he had -1 subscriber off that video.
It's true.
It's true. So God knows what's going on. Good old YouTube. Joey says USA has 9.8 million square kilometers and China has 9.5.
Can we have a round of applause for an American using kilometers?
Yeah, that's insane.
Well done, Joey. Well done.
Mersey says, yeah, Szechuan is a region in China. I think it's changed its name now, though. Well, fair enough. Il Corvo, hello, mate. He says, we're talking about China here. Belgium is a big country. Sound like Scafell Pike and Everest are both big mountains. I know. Belgium
is not a big country. It just takes you a while to get to the bottom of it if you're driving. It's not.
Yeah, when you drive down to the Formula One and like there's this like weird wiggly bit, it's like a kind of
you're forgetting the reason it takes you so long to drive down there is because the traffic around Brussels and Ghent is insane.
A nightmare. And Liège, right? If you go down for the Liège ring road, the Liège version of the N25 is 2 lanes. It feels like all the way around. And it's made for about 45 million people. It's a blooming nightmare. So, yeah. And we're caught up with the comments, Tommy.
Hey!
How's the old Guinness? Hello?
Ooh,
how's the old...
word.
Sorry about that. I meant to say Guinness, but I said Guinness, but I meant to say Nitro. How's the Blue Monkey Nitro going down?
Mate, smooth as always. It's such a...
Good beer.
So it's just so easy, but also fulfilling. I don't know. It's just got this vibe. I love it. It's very nice. It is very nice. How's the keg going down with your suspiciously hazy pineapple juice beer?
It just looks so pale on here. It's just not that pale.
It looks, it looks dishwatery.
It looks oxidized, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
on this camera, it looks oxidized, but if I tweak the OBS settings to actually what it really looks like, it's pineapple juice.
Okay, it's a bit brighter than that. Is it a bit more orangey?
Oh god, yeah, it's much more vibrant than what you're seeing now.
Okay, interesting.
But you are drinking pub quality beer in your own home.
It's true. It's true,
and it's not AB InBev. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what you can do. You can pay about £1 million for a machine, and then you can drink Corona. Oh, can I? Oh my god! I don't know how to get away with it.
No, not the one.
Corona's a continental beer.
Oh yeah. Well, so there's a video that I don't think will ever make the light of day. So I'm going to say this now because I'm just
the private one that we filmed, Tom.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. No, this was from the weekend.
Wrong platform, Tommy.
The weekend before that. I went to something called the Sausage and Cider Festival.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sausage Insider.
And Sausage and Cider Festival.
And cider, right? Better.
I filmed some stuff while I was there. I'm not that happy with. I don't think the content's that interesting, and the amount of time to edit it into something is. It might end up coming out in 6 months' time, and it'd be well off. But anyway, if I get bored, but I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, there was one bar there that was like everywhere sold cider, but there was this one that's like also got continental craft beer. Do you want to know what the continental craft beer was?
Oh, was it Kronenberg?
No, it was better than that. It was Corona. Yeah, my face as well.
What? I mean, to be fair, the Corona they probably poured was brewed in Tadcaster or Burton-on-Trent or wherever it's brewed nowadays. But
probably, I was just, when you have that confused look on, you're just going, well, I suppose it comes from a continent.
That's true, yeah.
But it's not what you advertised. So anyway, but the cider they sold there actually was very good. One of the best lot of the place. It was. I'll be honest. It was fairly disappointing all around. I mean, I didn't have a bad day. I had a day out, and I ate some sausages and got half cut, so it was all right. But it wasn't great. It's fair to say.
Yeah, there's a sausage and cider festival near us in Framlingham. So if anyone knows Ed Sheeran, sorry to mention his name because I cannot. I like him as a person, but his music is like nails on the chalkboard for me. He talks about the castle on the hill. Over the castle on the hill. It's like he's here, I know. The Framlingham Castle. Framlingham Castle is the castle over the hill. So he's born in Framlingham, which is like 20 minutes south of me. And they do a sausage and cider festival in their old sort of medieval town square.
It's probably the same company. But yeah, go on.
Is it a company?
Yeah, they do it all over the UK.
Mother truckers. Do they really?
Yeah. I've just seen local one as well.
I know 2 local butchers in my town that enter sausages into their competitions, but I suppose they probably do that for everybody. They just, the continental beer is going to be Corona again, I think. You lucky me. Mersey says, however, they do speak 3 languages in Belgium, only 2 in China. Belgium's just speak English in Belgium.
It does often work in the tourist area, it has to be said.
It confuses the locals.
Well, yeah. I did want to come back to that actually. The Szechuan thing. Because it is a region in China, but for some reason, in most Chinese restaurants, if you order something by that name, it's pretty consistent. So I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, but it's tasty.
We do like tasty Chinese food. That's a succulent Chinese meal. Have you seen that video?
I referenced that several times when you've gone. I said he's off to order his succulent Chinese meal on several occasions.
But then, didn't Sure Shot release a double IPA called Succulent Chinese Meal?
They may well have done. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, they did. It was good.
Have you seen the recent interview with that guy?
No, I'd like to.
The backstory behind it.
No.
So Australian, was he Australian or yeah, he was Australian, wasn't
Yeah, I think it was Australian.
he? I don't know if he was in Australia. I don't know if he was in New Zealand though. I can't remember. But anyway, whether it was in Australia or New Zealand, the authorities had mistaken him for a drug kingpin, and he was just a bit of he's basically like
Probably like a postman or something.
no, he was a very what's the way to describe it? He was very much into his amateur dramatics. This man.
Oh, it shows. I didn't know
Yeah.
that, but it
So he just, as soon as he started, he knew he was innocent. He just started putting on a performance.
oh, so
Go and find the interview. That it happened relatively recently. It's funny
because the arrest was a while ago, probably 90s, early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, it was a long
Just
time.
from the camera work, it's like
Yeah.
camera, like the old over the shoulder jobby.
Mm.
Joey says, I tried to organise a giant YouTuber meetup in Germany, but no one could either afford it or has a passport. At least my USA friends. Well, you don't need one. You can go to one of the hottest places on earth in your country and go to one of the coldest. It's weird. It's just the weirdest. Yeah.
True.
And I say that as an American family. Like, it's brilliant. I can just get flights out to Chicago, where my family live. And then we just sort of decide where we want to go almost on the flight over there. It's like, where do you want to go? And everyone just catches planes like they're buses. And no one gives a monkeys. So, yeah. Jimmy says, crummy, Barnsley, as Mark said. I know that from the old COVID gaming days. Barnsley and I are in Fort William/Fort Augustus in August.
When?
Right,
August.
you have just...
Yeah,
you've done.
hold on. When in August, because I'm there as well.
Right, you've lit the touch paper here, Jimmy. So, any recommendations of things we might not know of yet?
There's too much to reel off right now. Pester me on Instagram. I'll give you a full breakdown of everywhere worth visiting. Let me know whether you want tourist attractions, beer stuff, wildlife stuff, whatever. I can sort you out. I know the area from Fort William through to Fort Augustus pretty well, so I can help you.
Jimmy, you have made this man so happy. Look at his face.
I'm very pleased.
He's probably better up in Fort William than he is in Nottingham, and he's bloody brilliant in Nottingham.
To be honest, I probably spend more time walking around in the Highlands than I do around Nottingham because Nottingham's full of people. So, yes.
There we go. Yes, it's true. It was quite packed. Mersey says you can get Corona 5-litre mini kegs. Get in the bin with those things. Mersey says, I've been to a sausage and cider festival in Goosner up near Preston. Could have been the same thing. They're quite a popular thing, isn't it? Sausage and cider. It's such a weird pairing. It's like strange. Cheese and cider might work better. Eric Goodland says, can't remember if there is on a whole a style difference between Wallonian and Flemish beer. Mate, what you've got to do, Eric, is talk to me about what the hell is Wallonian. Kind of getting what Flemish is, but yeah. Crazy. Matt Hall says, there is a sausage and cider festival near us at Catton Hall. Mosey says, Goosenut, famous for his duck sausages. God, you eat well up there, didn't you?
Oh,
duck sausages.
That sounds delicious.
Neil Long, there's a man that goes on some insane beery adventures. Hello, fellas. Always a pleasure seeing you popping up on the interweb. Mate, I enjoy chats on Instagram when they happen. Normally at the weekend when Neil's just boasting to me about the Liverpool's beer scene. It's like, it's an amazing place. I'm like, yeah, I live in the country, mate. I go to a really modern, uninteresting tap room, rub it in even more. Neil looks at Mercy, hello. Mercy Beer says he was out of work. He wasn't out of work. Right.
This succulent Chinese meal, man.
Right, yeah, it's true. It's funny that police was it outside the courthouse.
No, it was outside a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, it was. I just remember seeing, just one of them sort of drunk Instagram draggy scrolly things. Lazy business. Cheers, Neil Long. Pity that Jackson's closed, isn't it? What's Jackson's then? If you ever want to see the most impactful, and this makes certain places I've been to look silly, the most impactful beer drinking venues that I've ever seen in my life, go to Neil Long's Instagram. They are like insane. Like I get annoyed. Like I watch his. I purposely don't watch his stories at about 7 o'clock on a Saturday because I wish I'm just going to get a train up to Liverpool. They're insane.
It's true. It's true.
Mersey says, Neil Long, are you at the Craft Beer Expo tomorrow? Neil Long. Mersey says Jackson's was the micro pub in Aintree, closed down in March. Yeah. Interesting that. But yeah, micro pubs, difficult old time for these guys. Really difficult. I mean, we didn't really go in many micro pubs, did we, Tom? Last weekend,
probably
that
two.
One near
on each
Billy.
day. Yeah, there was the one in Beeston on the Friday. Obviously, Totally Taps a micro pub.
Oh yeah, Totally Tapped, of course, and then the kebab shop one.
Ditchery Corner's going to look at me going, the Angel's a micro pub, is it? No, it's a brew pub. It's not a micro pub. Yeah, and then the one...
Frankenstein's... What was it called?
We won't give too much away, but the other one that we may or may not have been pleased about was also micro pub.
That we were pleased about?
I said we may or may not have been pleased about.
Oh! Wow. Don't watch the video to find out, eh?
When's that coming out? That's a good question. When is the Grand Nottingham video coming out?
That's going to be about 1 million years. Some establishments would have shut down by the time I release that video. But no, I will this week. I'll tell you what, it's probably going to be, realistically, if I'm honest, it's going to be sitting in France once Sophie's gone to bed, editing video. I'm not going to get it out this week. I've got to do so much to that camper van that it's not even a joke at this point. Because we go away quite soon. So yeah, probably won't be this week. But I think that's better because I think the realistic sort of fact is I'm not going to be going to these cities every week.
True.
So spreading the content out might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, fair.
Because otherwise it would just be like Beers and Gears, where I do 2 or 3 episodes within 2 or 3 weeks. Don't go near an interesting car or bike for another 6. And just get out about. So. Neil Long says, Mersey Beers, rumours. Oh, Chinese is here. Right, and that leads us neatly to 7 o'clock. But Neil Long says, Mersey Beers, rumours that the Petrichor may be taking it over. What's the Petrichor when it's at home?
Another pub by the sound of it, or brewery. Who knows?
Interesting.
Right,
guys, we are approaching 7 o'clock. Originally, Tommy, I mean, you're happy to stay on. Do you happy to have a call on it?
I've got food to acquire also.
Boom. We'll end it here then, guys. There's 19 of you in the chat at this late point. Thank you so much for coming in. Tom, what's the crummy beard coming up on the channel?
An awful lot of your face, I think, is probably.
Sorry about that. That's why you got -1 subscriber in that video earlier.
Yeah, we had an attempt at a podcast. I don't know if it's any good or not, so we'll release it and let you good people tell us whether you want to see more of that kind of long form or whether we should shut up a bit more. But yeah, other than that, it's business as usual. Also, worth pointing out, that's so easy drinking. It went in about 8 minutes. That beer, it's ridiculous.
Probably quite telling that you didn't really talk about it. It's just like sip, gone.
I don't need to talk about it because I've done 2 videos, and sneak peek alert, Mark's next video may or may not also feature it. So
true. That'll be on Monday probably now because I just forgot the Friday slot. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing weekend. The sun's shining, the birds are singing. Get your beers out, get in the garden, have a great time with your families. I will see you on the next one. This is the awkward bit now. Cheers.